We are, again, day 2. Welcome to the GamesRadar live stream here at PAX East in Boston. My name is James.
I'm Melissa.
And today we are joined by Simon.
Yes.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm very good.
If
Good
people
morning.
don't know by your t-shirt, you're here to show off a little known game called GTFO.
Yeah.
How's it been going on the show so far?
Overwhelmingly well. Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, line's been long, and people who have played it for the first time have enjoyed it a lot. And those who some people already own the game and still stand in line for hours just to play the new expedition that hasn't been released before.
Cool. Is that what you've got here at PAX?
Yeah, we're showing off the first expedition of the next set of expeditions that's going to be released soon.
Great. Well, I think we've got some gameplay that we can look at while we're talking about the game. So for those people who, I don't know how many of you there are, not very many, who don't know about what the game
Oh, I thought
is.
you meant watching.
No, there's people watching. There's quite a lot of people watching. But for those who don't know what it is, what's the overall concept of GTFO?
The elevator pitch would be Left 4 Dead crossed with Alien Isolation. So it is a four-player co-op, first-person shooter PvE game.
Mm-hmm.
But it has a much slower pace and there's more exploration, and it has more of a horror theme than most other such games. So 3 of the members of the team, including myself, worked on the Payday franchise, Payday the Heist and Payday 2. So it's in the pedigree of Left 4 Dead and Payday 2, but it's a very different beast. Like when on paper it's so close in concept, but once you start playing it, you'll realize that it's a slower, more strategic sort of gameplay, punctuated by intense combat, and then with the sort of horror, survival horror levels of resources that are available to you as a player, it has more of this oppressive, really creepy atmosphere.
Cool. Yeah, because Payday was very much intense action.
Absolutely, yeah, much more arcadey and fast-paced, yeah.
Left 4 Dead's like that too. It had moments of
corridor
worrying about,
it has some nice stealth scenarios, definitely.
I do get very heavy alien sort of vibes.
Absolutely, yeah. We've been inspired by Alien and Aliens, and the entire franchise pretty much for the lighting and the mood sort of, and obviously the motion detector you see on the screen right now.
So you're playing PvE. Is it always 4 people? Can you play it with less?
You can play it with less. Right now, the difficulty doesn't scale for that.
Okay.
So that's up to you as a player. If you think that it's too easy with 4 players, then you can just reduce the team, and then it becomes harder. Not a lot of people would think that it's not hard enough, though. So.
Okay. Oh, that's hardcore.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, it's a game where we don't. If you're not a 4-player team, the game doesn't fill out the spots with bots, because what you'd expect or what you want your teammates to do in GTFO, a bot really couldn't do. It wouldn't be enough for them to just be bullet sponges and draw some attention from the monsters away from you and shoot back at the monsters and revive you if you're downed. But actually, we have these puzzles where you got to read. Passwords off of a screen and read them out loud over voice chat to another player who's by a terminal and has to type that password into the terminal, and puzzles like that. And it would hamper sort of the game design we're trying to do. And actually, with bots, we would only allow people to play the game in a way that's not supposed to be played. We're going leaning heavily into cooperative gameplay. So that's what it's all about. You got to find some friends to play with, really.
Oh God, I don't know if I can find 3 people who would be able to put up with me through this, because I'm a screamer.
Oh.
I'm gonna get.
No, those are fun at the booth.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
You must have people just yelling out of nowhere. Everyone's looking over what's going on over there?
It's they're just playing a game. It's fine.
It's just a game.
About it. You've been. I think you first showed this off a few years ago in 2017 originally. So you've been in early access for a while now.
We released a trailer in 2017.
The first one, I think.
Yeah, a teaser trailer in May, and then this gameplay trailer that showed the first bits and pieces of actual gameplay at the Game Awards.
Mm-hmm.
But it hasn't been in early access longer than since December 9th last year. So it's just 2.5 months or something like that. Yeah.
And how has that process developed? Has it changed anything in terms of like the feedback that you're getting, and you're like, oh, okay, we need to tweak a few things, or has it gone pretty good?
A few things, absolutely. Yeah, we had an alpha and beta in October, November, and that gave us good feedback, and a lot of like information about whether the game actually ran on hardware. It's on PC right now. But yeah, also the community is fantastic, and the community is fantastic. And what was the question?
Just have you changed anything like due to feedback or any kind of things? That
not big things really. Like,
well, that's a good thing.
The best thing that releasing the game has done is really confirming that there is an audience for a game as niche as this.
Yeah. Did you see it as a niche game? Because I see it as like, it's a 4-player cooperative shooter.
Yeah, but it's very punishing, and it's slow-paced, and it's like you can't turn off the friendly fire, and it's we think that it would attract people from like Payday community and those who like Left 4 Dead and would like there to be a Left 4 Dead 3, but it's a different pace, and I think that people who like Escape from Tarkov or even Rainbow Six games would like to play this, because there is a lot of like tactical aspects to the gameplay.
Okay. And in terms of the enemies that people are coming up against, are they all the same? Have you got different enemy types that do different things?
There are different enemy types, yes, and we're constantly throughout the early access phase, we'll keep adding new monsters and environmental hazards and interior sets and tools for the player to use in order to combat the different threats. So right now we have what we would like to think is a great like baseline for most aspects of the game. There are some super creepy enemies, and there are some cool weapons to shoot them with, but it's going to grow from here.
And that's what you guys brought, something different to PAX. That's why you said that you have people waiting in line to play the game, even though they already have it.
Yeah, we're showing off. The game lives like a string of time-limited events, pretty much. We're not building a long campaign where there's like 24 maps and that's it. So the game was released with 6 maps. We call that set of maps a rundown. And when we've created a new set of maps, a new rundown, we'll wipe the other rundown, so you can never play those maps ever again. And then you can only play the new set of maps, so that the community is always focusing on the same set of maps. That's I don't know of any other game that works like that. It's sort of like Seasons, but it's shorter. And we're trying to think of like themes for every rundown to have sort of an overarching story sort of approach to it.
Do you find that when you release these maps, and since they're only out for a short period of time, do you find the community ends up having to get together and be like, oh, how did you get through this part here? Do they help each other with that kind of stuff?
Absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of bragging rights to just beating the maps, so they always tweet that success screen at the end of the map, like on Twitter and stuff, which is nice. But there's also a lot of like people making tutorials, wiki pages and video tutorials on YouTube and stuff like that, which is cool.
You mentioned that there was a set of maps every time. In terms of the size of those maps, or how long it takes to get through one, what kind of play time are you looking at?
20 minutes to an hour, maybe, for everyone.
20 minutes to an hour?
If you know how to do it.
Yeah.
But thing is, you wouldn't beat one of those maps on the first attempt. That's the thing. It is a game where we as designers, we expect people to go in and trial and error for a couple of times to figure out what it's all about.
They're almost like, to compare it to another game that's totally different, like Destiny raid kind of things that are like, you have to get together, you have to get to the end of this thing, and then you have to learn the process of the map.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. We drew some inspiration from Destiny in that regard, where it's like the expeditions are almost like raids, and with the building blocks or the elements that we're adding to the game throughout the early access phase, we'll have these different building blocks that we can actually put together randomly, and like, okay, so the players have played against this type of enemy for a couple of rundowns now, but what if we put that enemy in this condition and then the environmental condition that you never encountered that enemy before changes how you need to approach that enemy. You know, darkness or fog or like spores in the air and poisonous gas or whatnot, stuff like that. Just trying to combine things and messing with how players view the things that seem to be so familiar.
That's great.
What I want to mention also is that, I mean, it's a game where communication is key. That's where we're really, really pushing. You got to coordinate, you got to communicate. And we're here at PAX announcing that we're partnering with Overtone, which is a voice chat app currently in development. And it's a match made in heaven sort of for a game like this. And we're working with them to see how we can integrate that into the game in a nice way. We can't talk right now about exactly how that will work, but you'll be able to find players and jump into the game, launch the game actually from the Overtone app, and jump straight into GTFO. So it's
that's really interesting because it's the idea that like you should be set up with people before you even start to get into this game, and that would actually set that as a parameter.
Exactly.
Find people, then head straight to it.
Yes, you would be able to say like what type of games you like, and then the app will sort of find people who are into the same sort of games, and you can depend on that, like trust that the people who you're paired with are actually like reliable players who will not basically. With a friendly fire in this game, it's easy to troll people and grief play, you know. So it's important that you find people that have a microphone, speak the same language as you. Like even that's why the game is sort of I think it's like in a lot of ways a love letter to those people who like already have a team and like playing games like Rainbow Six and so on, and have a rapport and a shorthand and have their like set roles within the team and stuff like that. Those players who like those sort of games, that sort of game, and are looking for more of a challenge actually, because it's a really challenging game.
Is there any other system in the game that helps people communicate with each other other than voice chat, or is it like you guys got to talk? Not
at the moment. We're looking at ways maybe to
like a ping system or something.
Yeah, there is a ping system.
Okay.
Yeah. Good that you mentioned that. I almost forgot. Yeah, you can like point, set markers. Every player can set a marker that is the same color as your like the text for your character, and so on in the game. Yeah, but we're looking at ways to help the players even more to communicate. Not that it would ever replace actual voice chat. Yeah. Because again, there will be puzzles where you need to like read stuff off of screens or monitors and read them back to the other players for them to type into command consoles and stuff like that.
We've seen quite a few different weapons so far. Can you talk to us a bit about the kind of weapons that are in the game? Like, is it a loadout at the beginning?
Right now, there's a set like arsenal that you have to choose from. But down the line, we're going to add a progression system where you, as a player, for your profile, sort of collect weapons and can dismantle them and modify with the parts that you get and stuff like that. But right now, it's I don't know what the word would be. The run-of-the-mill sort of actually weapons. It's just SMGs, and DMRs and revolvers. Pistols, machine guns, something for everyone, I guess. What's really interesting is the tools, because it is a game where the player is deprived of so much in terms of like knowing where the monsters are going to come from and stuff like that, health and ammo, obviously. But we want to make it is a game where little things can tip, whatever you can tip in your favor, sort of helps so much. So just if you know that a fight will happen in a room, and like you want to get through a security door, and you know that trying to open the security door will trigger this alarm, you know that that alarm's going to draw monsters into that room. You start like closing doors, maybe even going into the rooms that those doors lead to, and start closing the doors in those rooms, and then backing into that room where you know the fight's going to be, closing those doors as well. Anything that can buy you time. And then there's a foam launcher, which is one of the tools. You shoot the foam on the doors, it will reinforce the doors and make it take longer for the monsters to claw through the doors. Stuff like that is really interesting. You got sentry guns, you got to place those, and trip mines. Closing a door and putting a trip mine on the inside is very, very smart, because then the first monster that runs through the opening of the door and blows up isn't alone necessarily, because there's like a crowd of monsters have like congregated on the other side of the door, because it takes a while to get through it for the monsters. And then when they finally break through the door, that trip mine will take out maybe 5-6 monsters instead. So there's a lot of like strategy and tactics going into it, and you gotta make use of every little tool and thing you have. So it's not just about like firearms, which I think is a nice thing.
Yeah, definitely. In terms of, you talked about like the voice app that you guys are working on to get people together.
Overtone.
Is there going to be like any kind of matchmaking that you've thought about, like that just puts people together? Who can say,
that's part of the plan with Overtone. Yes, absolutely. How it works right now, already in the booth, is that we've set up groups where the 4 computers that people use to play together are set up as are logged into Overtone with their own individual users. One member of those groups of 4 is team party leader, who decides for the group, like, this is the game we're going to play, and then that player can actually launch the game, and it launches for everyone else at the same time.
That's
Smart.
interesting. Can you filter for like let's say you prefer to play with people who don't curse or something like that? I don't.
No, you're fine.
No.
Possibly. I don't know. I'm really not the right person to answer the question.
It's just really interesting to be able to kind of.
Yeah,
it's a smart idea. It works really well with what you guys do.
Yeah, you have a preference filter, and you can just tick the box for curse words.
I'd like language, no language barriers. Just let me say whatever I want.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm going to find that.
Yeah, I think, that'll be okay. We've seen a couple of screens of the map. Is that, is it a sort of a linear process of like get to point B by the end, or is there going to be multiple paths that you can go down?
There's going to be multiple paths. That's actually how we plan on doing the difficulty settings of the game, because we don't want players to be like I'm playing GTFO, but I'm playing on easy. We want it to be pretty much the same experience for everyone. That being said, we wanted there to be layers to the difficulty within any given expeditions. So the plan is to have like different paths, and so that players who are looking for even more of a challenge than what the game currently offers, there's a map. They can actually like go into parts of the map where the risk is higher. Potentially the reward would also be.
Have you guys found with any expedition that was like way harder than other ones?
Yes, every rundown, as we call the packs of maps or expeditions, you start at the top, because the game takes place in this underground complex. You start at the top, and then you work your way down, and then the maps at the bottom of the rundown would be the harder ones. So you can't get to those until you've actually completed the ones above it.
Right.
And those are the bragging rights are huge.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Got to get to the bottom first.
Yeah, we got to come up with a way to sort of allow players who've completed rundowns or like the really difficult expeditions to have some sort of a badge on, by their name or by their username, or maybe even some trinkets, dangling from the first-person weapon or some, things like that. We're thinking about ideas because it is a game where we see a lot of people on social media sharing the fact that they're completing, the levels, because it is such a difficult game. So
I thought this would make me not want to play it, and now I want to play it so much more to be able to prove to everybody that I can do it. Because now it's like the competitive nature in me is like, oh, that's it. We got to attack this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the idea of multiple paths is also really interesting. You could get 4 people together who have done the same, or maybe 3 people have done it, and they're like, oh, we've got to go left here. And they're like, hey, no, let's go right. Let's go and try. And you got like other people in the team being like, no.
Let's open the big red door with all the alien, I don't know.
Glyphs, the language. Maybe don't go back there.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So this thing that you're showing off at PAX, has that got a potential release date of when it's going to be in the game for people who are in early access yet?
I wish it had, but it's just we're just trying to develop the game ethically in terms of crunch.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like everyone has a family, and the development is going slowly but steadily, and we're really like averse to saying dates, because we announced that the game would be out within a year from the Game Awards in 2017, December 2017. It didn't come out during 2018, and it came out in early access, but in December 2019. So we don't have a good track record with giving dates or even like ballpark, dates.
But you know that, so play to your strengths now.
Yeah, the strength is just
yeah.
to shut up and hope that people are patient.
Yeah, I mean, if they're playing this game, I feel like they might have to be patient, because if you're doing something over and over again, probably inherently is somewhat of a patient person.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Well, thanks for coming down, Simon. It's great to have a look at it.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. That was GTFO here at the GamesRadar PAX live stream. We'll be back in a few minutes with Maneater, so stay tuned.
Ooh. Bye, guys.
Hello and welcome back to the GamesRadar PAX East stream here live on YouTube. Welcome back. We are going to have a look at Maneater and I'm very excited. If you're just joining us, my name is James.
I'm Alyssa.
And we are joined by John.
Yes, John Gibson from Tripwire.
Hello.
And Jared is going to be driving the demo over there. I think, well, let's start with you guys are at PAX. What are you showing off here at PAX?
So we're here at PAX, and we're very excited. This week, people are getting their hands on both Maneater and Chivalry 2 for the very first time. So excited to see the reactions of the fans playing the games for the very first time.
Great. And I think we've got some footage of your booth, because your booth is actually quite special here, isn't it? There's a lot going on.
It's a little big. It's kind of massive. It's kind of exciting for us as Tripwire as we've gone from developing our own games and now publishing third-party games to really come to a place like PAX and have such a presence, and then just see queues of people just lined up to play our games.
Okay, and what kind of things, like activities, have you got?
Oh yeah, there's some very special activities there. Actually, we have a setup where it will look like you're about to be eaten by the shark. So we've got a green screen, and you can pose and be a little silly, and be scared like you're getting eaten by a shark. For Chivalry 2, you know, if fans of Chivalry know, there's a lot of beheading going on in this game. It's medieval knights and swords, so you can get a picture taken. So it looks like a knight is holding your head that he's just chopped off.
I mean, we're definitely going there,
Which
right?
one do I want more?
Well, both.
Both.
Got to have both. Those are good
Okay, no,
Insta pictures.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
definitely what you need.
Oh,
for
yeah.
This kind of stuff. So in terms of the Maneater demo that you've got and the footage that we're going to go through here, this is from the beginning of the game?
Correct.
Right?
This is about the first 15 minutes of the game.
Cool. And so what do? You fired up the game, you're a shark. What are we doing? How do you start off as a baby shark?
So in the very beginning of the game, we actually start you off as a big, powerful shark, because we wanted the player to get a sense of not the most powerful that the shark will be in the game, but what it's like to be this beast shark with this power fantasy of just being able to go around and wreck the place. And as you'll see as he plays, as Jared plays through the demo here, you'll see some of the elements of the game, and then something will happen during this demo that I won't blow for the people watching, but that we'll tell you about as that goes along.
Okay, cool. And this is the same experience that if people are here at PAX, they can go and play this demo?
Absolutely. This is exactly what we're showing on the show floor today.
So if you're not here, this is what you're missing out on, basically. So do you want to tell us a little bit about, I think you were quite keen to stress, it's not just about the shark that eats people, right? There's more to the game than just the shark.
Absolutely. So, I mean, the game is called Maneater, so there is a little bit of man-eating going on in the game.
That's important.
Maybe a lot. But there's more to the game than that. It really is an open-world action RPG. We've taken some influences from games like Zelda Breath of the Wild, some of the more recent Far Cry games where you can go out and adventure and have kind of an RPG experience that's tailored to your play style. So as you play through the game, the shark is obviously going around eating things, and that gets nutrients for the shark to level up. And the shark gets different types of nutrients, whether they're fighting, wildlife that don't have big teeth, whether they're fighting combatant wildlife, whether they're fighting humans. And then as the shark levels up, it has, in most RPGs, as your character levels up, you see, hey, my number got bigger. In Maneater, you see, my shark got bigger.
Oh, yes.
So I'm going to assume by the end, like this is not, obviously you said not the biggest, but it can get even bigger than this by the end of the game.
Absolutely. I mean, we have, at least what we're talking about so far, we have a baby shark, or the pup shark. We have the teen shark. We have an adult shark. We have an elder shark.
An elder shark? So cute. Did you guys have to work with anybody like marine biologists or anything to get like an understanding of sharks, so that it was like somewhat how a shark would hunt or swim? Or
so we didn't do a whole lot of interfacing directly with marine biologists, but we had interestingly a bunch of shark fanatics on our team. our lead character artist, Brian, was such a shark fanatic. His wedding cake was a shark.
Oh my gosh.
And so he had done a lot of study on shark biology, and then our team just really dove in studying, what do sharks really do? How do they swim? How do they live? And also the other wildlife in the Gulf Coast of southern U.S. What wildlife is there, and how do they fight, and what do they do? And then taking that as our base, and then ramping it up to 11 to make it fun and interesting.
Yeah.
So we can see from the demo here, you're getting some kind of stats in the bottom right, like points for something. Can you just explain what those three things are at the bottom?
Absolutely. Those are the nutrients that
oh boy.
There's some human nutrients there. Those are the nutrients that the shark is getting to level up and grow. And one of the interesting things also is, as the shark eats and grows, it will graduate to a new life phase. So if you're the baby shark or the pup, you'll get incrementally bigger, but then at some point, once you've eaten enough, you'll reach teen, and you get a large increase in size, and you'll gain new capabilities. And then as the shark explores the world, it will discover things that we call evolutions, which can be applied to the shark to give the shark special abilities. So, for example, you can get the ability to breathe outside of water a little bit longer, because clearly sharks can't breathe outside of water, but our shark's a little special, can evolve, can spend a little more time on the beach, getting its, having its lunch, won't feel as rushed.
And is this one of the, so obviously these hunter boats are your enemies. Are these going to get more and more aggressive as you go through the game?
Absolutely. So, as just like real life, the humans won't be too happy that there's a shark on their beach trying to eat them. And the more havoc that you wreak, destroying property, eating people, your infamy, what we call infamy, increases. The higher your infamy, the more powerful boats and weaponry the humans will deploy against you. So they'll send out the Coast Guard, they'll send out big boats. You'll start getting machine guns on the boats, you'll start seeing depth charges being launched at you.
It's a shark wanted level.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
It's literally a shark wanted level.
It is a shark wanted level. And what you saw Jared do just there was what we call whip shot. So one of the things we looked at with the shark is what will be interesting for the shark to do in the game. So sharks can bite things, obviously, we have to do that. Sharks can thrash things, that's cool. And one of the things we discovered is there are certain types of sharks that will whip things with their tail to stun them. So the tail attack is very cool. It launches things, it pushes things away from you. But then we got a little creative with that. We said, well, if you can hold something in your mouth and then whip it with your tail, then it becomes a projectile weapon.
Yeah, he just hucked that turtle at somebody.
Exactly. So, and big, heavy things like turtles become great things to launch at boats. And as you progress through the game, you discover there are a lot of things in the environment that essentially become your weapons. You see a swordfish. Swordfish makes a great sniper projectile. If hunters are launching depth charges at you, you can launch them back, and they're like grenades. So really, there's much more the shark can do than just bite things, although biting things is really fun too.
Yeah, because obviously, the shark can't have mounted weapons on it, so it's like using the environment as your weapons and other things.
Yes, exactly. No laser beams on the shark, at least not in this iteration.
Well, not in this iteration, but who knows?
Never know.
Who knows where to go after this?
DLC laser shark. That's quite a possibility. So are we getting to the bit now where things are about to change?
We are getting to the bit where things are about to change. So
I'm excited.
Beyond it being an open world game, there are 7 large regions to explore. There's an actual story here that follows along. The premise of the game is that it's a reality show called Maneater, and it is following our antagonist, Scaly Pete, who is this very gruff shark hunter, and he's one of the best in the Gulf. Now, Pete really doesn't like sharks, and we're about to see just how much Pete doesn't like sharks.
Daily Pete looks over the catch of the day.
So as the mother shark, you've just been captured by Pete.
This ain't the shark. Not the one I was looking for.
Now, he recognized that spear in the side of the shark, but he also realizes this isn't the shark he was looking for. Oh, it gets worse.
Oh, look at it. She's on for me. Oh, how your mama in there? Well, why'd you do that? So I can identify her next time I see her. When I spear her.
Yes.
Bit of revenge.
Good.
I see, now it makes sense.
I don't like him.
No.
So, yeah, you start out mama shark, you get captured, and from here you take on the role of the baby, the pup shark, exploring the world and learning what it's like to be very vulnerable as a small shark, and then that journey to becoming a very powerful shark, because clearly you're not going to be very happy that Pete just slashed your fin and defaced you and scarred your face. Of course, Pete's not going to be very happy either that you just bit off his hand. So
Well.
it's really setting us up here for some interesting clashes between these two as they go through the story of Maneater.
So that you're going to be, throughout the game, encountering Pete every now and then, I'm going to assume. With maybe some, is there any like boss moments that you've got?
There is. So there are a couple different types of bosses in the games, and actually what you saw that the shark just did there, I just have to point it out, is the first thing the baby shark eats is Pete's hand.
Yes.
Good.
Don't like Pete.
But as you play through the game, and we see now that the baby is starting its new life, the shark will go out and in each of the 7 regions, there's apex predators. So part of what you're doing is there are other predators that are trying to battle you for supremacy of each region. And if you eat the food that they like to eat, they're going to come out. They're not going to be very happy. You will draw out that region's apex predator. Now, Pete, being a shark hunter, part of what he gets paid to kill adult sharks, because you've got hotels, you've got resorts all along the Gulf, and they don't want sharks eating the people on their beaches. So
Understandably.
they pay Pete to kill big sharks, but not little sharks. So that's why he throws the baby back. But as you kill these apex predators, as you evolve and grow your shark, you'll start to show up on Pete's radar, and he'll start to come after you as you get bigger. And your goal is, in the very end, to get big enough to take him on. Because clearly, Mama Shark was a big, tough shark, and Mama Shark wasn't powerful enough to take on Pete. So you want to get even more powerful than Mama.
Great.
Let's get revenge.
Definitely get revenge. Yes.
Now, for the shark nerds out there, and I don't say that derogatorily, but the real biologic fans, if you look at the shark, I've been told this, that female and male sharks have a different number of fins. I mean, a different number of gills on the side.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So our baby shark is actually a girl.
Yay.
So not only is it shark power, it's girl power.
Yes, I love that. I'm here for that.
Yes, totally in for that. Absolutely. So in terms of these maps here, like how big is each region that you get to sort of
Oh, wow.
roam?
So if Jared scrolls out here, it's very big. So he's just been, for the last several minutes, just covering a fraction of Fawtick Bayou, and as you can see, it's big. And what you saw him doing there was in the grotto. Now, grottos are safe places where the shark can grow to evolve, because it needs to be in a place where it's not going to get attacked or eaten by something else to grow. He's also equipped a organ evolution here, which is advanced sonar. Now the advanced sonar allows you, kind of like a dolphin, to be able to send out sound and use your electroreceptors to find things, to find entrances, to find objects, to find the enemies. And it's a really cool capability that our shark has in the game. As you can see, Jared just demonstrated there and highlights some of the things, some of those tasty nutrients that he needs to get to level up. There's also some cool things out in the world that are landmarks. And these landmarks, when you find them and discover them, they kind of tell you a little bit more of the story, and you get to have a little fun with them. Also, one thing that's interesting to point out is, the shark can't talk. I mean, we could have given it an inner dialogue. We thought about that, but everything we thought of just seemed kind of cheesy. So with the reality show, the narrator is sort of telling the shark story as you play through the game. And we were very fortunate to get Chris Parnell.
I thought that was his voice.
30 Rock and Archer and Saturday Night Live, because we wanted to find somebody who was, like a great comedian that plays it straight. We looked back at movies like The Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen, and how he can take, or Airplane, where how he can take a completely ridiculous situation but make it seem normal. And Chris Parnell does such a great job at that. The shark is doing completely off-the-wall things, and Chris is really chill about it. In a slightly humorous with a wink way. It's like, okay, this is a little weird, but yeah, the shark's eating people, and that's okay. That's what the shark does.
Yes, that's such a great get. Chris Parnell has such a good voice.
He does.
So perfect.
And what you see Jared here, you see him having his first battles with the combatant wildlife. Now, one of the things you'll notice is he can't just swim up to the combatant wildlife and just chomp down on it. There's really, every enemy in the game has sort of a combat cadence. If you watch the wildlife, its animation will do a little tell, and he has to dodge out of the way, and then the enemy will flash, and that lets you know the enemy is vulnerable. So we liken it to some classic games that we grew up playing, like Punch-Out. If you remember Punch-Out for the Nintendo, each boxer had its own specific tell, and when it was vulnerable, you could attack back. So it also has a bit of a Dark Souls flavor sprinkled on top.
Yeah, you have to learning the attack patterns of the enemy.
Exactly.
Working out how to counter it.
And if you're, the game's difficulty was really tailored to how you want to play the game. If you want to swim around and explore and eat lots of things and get really, really big before you attack something that's smaller than you, then that makes the game a little bit easier. If you really want to challenge, you can just swim out into the open ocean and attack anything that you see. And if you're really good and you really learn to unpack the cadence of the combat of each of the enemies, you can do really well.
So before we wrap up, we should talk about release dates and platforms, or at least in the things that you can tell us today.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So Maneater is coming out on the Epic Games Store for PC and PlayStation and Xbox on May 22nd, and then will be coming out on Switch later this year.
Awesome. You can man-eat on the go.
I know.
That's right.
It's going to be a great game to play on Switch.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Great.
I feel like you should do like a man-eater Inception and kind of like maybe go to the Gulf Coast and play it there.
On the beach.
Yeah. And
on a boat.
On a boat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Surrounded by sharks.
Yeah.
Go shark fishing.
Yeah.
With your Switch. No, shark.
I'm pro shark in this world now.
Shark viewing, is that what you call it?
Yes, I would go shark sighting.
Sighting. That's what it's called. Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, thanks for coming down, guys. It's great
yeah, seriously,
to
this looks so cool.
Hope you have a great rest of the show.
Thank you.
A few more days to go.
Yes. We're going to come get our pictures taken.
We are. Definitely
you absolutely
come down.
should.
Yes.
It's going to be great. Thank you both for coming down. That was Maneater here on the GamesRadar stream at PAX. We'll be back very soon with Boyfriend Dungeon.
Yay. Bye, guys. Yeah, she's putting it on.
Swear? That's the real question.
Well, we'll see. Hello, and welcome back to the GamesRadar PAX live stream here in Boston. Today, right now, we're talking about Boyfriend Dungeon. If you're just joining us, my name is James.
Alyssa, and this is
Victoria.
Victoria.
Yay!
So you're going to tell us all about Boyfriend Dungeon.
Yes,
I'm so excited. We went from Maneater to Boyfriend Dungeon. I'm really digging
It's
the
the perfect
theme
segue.
right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's honestly natural. So I want to let you spin it, but for anyone who may not be aware,
Yes.
Boyfriend Dungeon is a dating sim dungeon crawler hybrid,
Yes.
right? And can you just take it from there and give us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so as you said, it's a dating simulator dungeon crawler hybrid. Basically, your weapons turn into beautiful people, and you take them out on dates to make them grow stronger, because that's what love is. And then you take them in dungeons, and you fight monsters, and you go deeper and deeper into a dungeon. Who knows what's there? Ooh, spoilers. But yeah, you can also, so they turn into many different weapons. We'll have 8 different kinds, male, female, non-binary romance, and also a cat. If you decide you want to stay single and you don't want to mess with anyone, you're like, screw it, I'm just going to hang out with my cat.
Oh no,
We
you've
got
mentioned cats.
There's so many.
This is totally your
Was
thing
this
now.
just ripped from my head? I can't, like, this was just, you just came while I was asleep and just
Yes, exactly.
plucked
It's
my ideal thing.
specifically tailored to you.
I'm so excited. And this is just a little bit of the gameplay that you can get into. Is that you have cat ears on?
Yes.
Can you customize a little?
Yes, there'll be different customizable options. We have transformation sequences for all of the weapons. This is our bad boy, obviously, not wearing a shirt. 'cause-
Clearly. Hello.
I love him.
Who wouldn't?
love him.
Look at him hold it. Wow.
I know.
The swagger.
There's just so many.
Oh my gosh. So are these all the people you can date?
Yes. Well, there's going to be more.
Yeah.
And more.
Ooh.
Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Yay. Oh.
I love the cat so much.
Is a cat in a cat cafe?
It is.
Oh my
It
gosh.
is.
It's
yeah.
so good.
It turns into brass knuckles.
Yes. It's almost like those, they make cat brass knuckles. Have you ever seen those?
Yes.
Yes. They have pointy ears.
I
and
want
you,
one.
Yeah. You can't
I
bring
think
them
it's
on
illegal.
the airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
Don't
going to say that could have been prime merch. Could have just been like.
Yeah, they don't let you bring it. I've had 2 of them, and they've both gotten taken at the airport.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
I mean, they're pointy. They're quite pointy.
okay, fine. I
It's-
guess. I guess.
Okay, so
But yeah, so this is also, so when we were talking, there was like a nightclub dungeon. So there's one of the dungeons is a mall. Another dungeon is a nightclub. Like we're going to have like different monsters and all that kind of thing.
I love it. It's like the perils of dating, but also how dating can make you stronger in some ways.
Exactly, yes. Oh yeah, this is our, well, as they're seeing on the screen, it's a K-pop star that we have who's a laser saber. Look, this is just all our thirstiest dreams. Like
I
we're
love
just like,
it.
put it onto this game.
I love it, and I love that you can have like a non-binary character. It's fantastic. So okay, you can turn. The people you date can turn into a weapon.
Mhm.
You went to ask us this before we went live, and I was like, we've got to ask this. Okay, if you could turn into any weapon, what would you turn into? I'll let her go first.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
and
think
I'll
about
think
it.
about
I
it.
have 2 answers. One is like the actual one I would become, and then the one is like the aspirational one I
Yeah.
would become. So in reality, I'd become like a butter knife.
That's not a weapon.
It is. It's a knife.
Yeah.
But it's blunt.
Look,
what are you going
exactly.
to do with that?
I'm not. I'm
butter
weak.
butter
Butter
thing.
toast.
Butter
Yeah,
thing.
look, I'm just gonna like butter to. I'm worthless in like a fight. Okay, in a knife fight, worthless. But if you need something like spreadable,
You need a sandwich, then you're like, I've got this.
I don't know.
Well, you're a pacifist. That's a good thing.
Exactly.
See?
Yeah, I'm a lover,
Wait,
not a
is this
fighter.
your real answer or the one?
This is who
Yeah,
in
this is what
reality.
reality I'd be.
Okay.
But my aspirational ones, like those fans that have like the spikes at the end.
Oh yeah.
I want to be that. I want to be that.
That's cool.
But that's aspirational.
I think I would be in Kill Bill the
katana.
ball,
The
the ball
ball.
on
The
the
spiky
yeah, the
ball.
spiky ball
Mm.
on the chain, and then you press the button, and then it makes extra spikes.
Yeah.
That would definitely be me, and that's pretty much how I live my life.
And what would you actually be?
No, that's me.
No, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
just going straight?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, because I would just like yeah, that's me.
I mean, aspirational, I'm going like probably like nunchuckers.
Okay, yeah.
Reality, probably like just a staff. You know, like Donatello and Turtles, just has like a stick.
Fair enough.
Just be like,
That's fine.
just like a long
I think
stick.
everyone should ask themselves, you know, like what kind of weapon would you be?
Yeah.
We do important questions.
Yeah.
So when this game was in its first form, what was kind of like the goals? What kind of people did you want to get interested in this game? Like, because obviously it's a hybrid of two kinds of types. So do you find that people who are interested in dating sims and interested in dungeon crawlers are kind of flocking to this? Like,
Yeah, it's actually really cool because we've had people like who just focus on like dating sims or people who just focus like on action games, like both be like, oh, I've never tried the other like form and I'm really interested in this now. And it was originally, I think we were going to try and focus more on the dating aspect, but we realized like you can't, people are so used to combat games that we're like, okay, you have to have a good combat portion to like complement the dating sim aspect. So now it's like we're trying to make two games into one, and it's difficult, but we're working on it.
yay. And so you said and more. So
Yes.
where can people play the game right now? Where could they play it? Or is it on its way?
It is on its way. You can wishlist it on Steam and also for the Nintendo Switch.
Amazing.
Yes.
And so and more, you guys are probably thinking about potentially adding more things down the line?
Yeah, so like there's going to be different weapons. So one of the weapons that you didn't see in the trailers is Rowan, who's a scythe. And do you know Hatoful Boyfriend? Hatoful Boyfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do?
Yeah.
The creator of Hatoful Boyfriend actually made Rowan the scythe. So they have like a little bird friend with them. It's great.
That's so
Wow,
great.
That's cool. That's really cool.
See? I'm so excited.
It's really good. And in terms of at PAX, you're on the show floor.
Yes.
What are you showing off to the people who are here?
Yeah, so we're showing off a demo of Boyfriend Dungeon. We also have a game called Lucifer Within Us, which is like your digital exorcist, and it's a mystery solving game where everyone gives you an alibi, it comes up on a timeline, you find the contradictions. We also have trailers for Mondo Museum, Door Fortress, and 6 Ages.
Oh, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, we have a lot going on.
You guys are busy.
Aren't
Please,
we all?
please save us.
It's Saturday. We're almost done.
I'm so tired.
I'm just going to go, I wish I could just go dive into dating.
Yes.
So do you guys have a tentative like ballpark idea of when it's going to come, or you'd rather just be like, just
The
wait?
future. We're saying whenever the like weapons are sexy enough, so.
Yes. Do you have a favorite?
It's so hard. Honestly, is it bad that it's like the guy with like no shirt? That
No,
it's just like
not at all. No.
it's
He
so
knows-
blatantly flirty. I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, work it. I'm down.
I love this. I mean, if this isn't my brand,
Yeah. I mean, it totally. We're there. It's fine.
Ready.
that's why I'm so excited. I
Yeah.
can't wait. And to play it on Switch too. I can't wait to be like on the subway and have someone just be like, "What in the world?"
I
I
know.
think that man just turned into a sword.
The beauty of Boyfriend Dungeon is just like the name itself.
Yes.
Everyone's like, what is this? And then
I have a boyfriend dungeon, but it's in my head.
yes,
Just in
the,
your mind.
Yeah.
the Boyfriend
All
Dungeon
my
was in your
exes are
heart
just locked
this entire
in that
time.
dungeon.
Amazing.
Wow. Yeah, we're getting quite deep now for
Yes.
Saturday afternoon.
They're all
the
watching.
stream is
fine.
turning
I
into
knew it.
something very different.
That's
It's
super
changing.
exciting, and I think putting it on Switch is great. Like people will love to take that with them. And have
Yeah.
some fun.
Be thirsty on the go.
I mean, you'd be thirsty anywhere now,
That's true.
right? Thirsty at PAX.
That's what we're
Thirst,
going to
thirst,
rebrand
thirst.
this into. You've obviously had lots of like fans and interaction on Kickstarter. Like,
Mhm,
really
yes.
big. What kind of things have you taken from that? Have you got lots of good feedback? Have you got, has it
Yeah.
helped you develop the game?
Totally. It's, I think, really useful to have. It's really fun also to just know that there's such a backing behind the game. Because when we initially announced the game, this was before we were sure that it was even going to like hit it off, because a lot of people were like, that sounds kind of weird. And we're like, oh, is this a bad idea? Maybe we shouldn't invest in it that much. We're like, who knows? We'll try it out, put it on Kickstarter. And it got funded within 6 hours. Yeah, we had, and it was amazing. It was
Everyone's
so nice.
thirsty.
I know. Who knew?
See? That's so great.
I mean, like you were saying, like the pitch for it probably does sound a bit weird.
It
You're
does.
just going up to people, going, we've got this new idea for a game.
Right.
And it's called Boyfriend Dungeon, and they're like, hold up.
Yeah, exactly. And we're like, oh, is this like, and some people are like, oh, that's a good idea, but we're like, oh, you're our friends, maybe you're just saying that to be nice. Right? Sometimes they do that. But then we got the Kickstarter and we're like, oh, okay, I guess people are thirsty for their weapons. It's not just us.
I love that. Now I'm going to be looking at games with weapons and being like, what would that weapon look like as a person?
Right? I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, everyone, like, since Boyfriend Dungeon's announcement have been like, oh, the transistor weapon, like, I want to date that. Or, like, they've been talking about, like, so many other weapons in games and being like, What if that turned into a person? Could I date them?
Wow. Wow.
The
I'm just going to go down a
for
dark.
There's a big potential for crossovers here.
Oh,
you
yeah.
get all the weapons from all the other games, and you can just
Imagine.
Oh my god. I really want that.
Well, that's so great. And I'm sure people, I mean, obviously, Kickstarter proof, people are interested. So I'm going to make sure everyone knows. Stay tuned. We'll know when it's coming out. And it's going to be on Steam and Switch.
Yes.
And that's super exciting. Boyfriend Dungeon, Thirst.
So much.
It's real.
It's
real.
real.
It's happening.
It's real. It's happening.
guys.
You can play it. I love it.
Well, thank you so much
for coming.
Thank you for
Really
having me.
appreciate it.
Great to talk about the game a little bit more. Have you got updates if people are backing it on Kickstarter? Can
Yes,
you,
we'll have monthly updates.
So the one is next month? The next one?
Yes. Once I recover and take like a nap for several weeks.
Yes.
Yes.
Just go into a deep sleep.
Yes. Oh my god.
Being thirsty is exhausting.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. You have to drink so much water.
And then making a game about it as well.
Dehydrated.
There's a lot going on.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Great. That was Boyfriend Dungeon. Next up, we've got your new friend.
Yes, we pre-recorded an interview with Felicia Day, or Felicia.
Felicia to
Felicia.
you, to her friends.
Yes.
So yeah,
Her
you
close
should
friends.
run off and go and do that now.
Oh wait, I've got to change.
Yeah, I think you do have to
I have
change.
to change.
And we need to get you into that other room. So yeah,
Imagine we
you
just
go,
come in.
and we'll be back in about 10, 15, 20 minutes. Once
However
you've got
long
up
it takes
the
me to
room.
redo this face and makeup.
Yeah.
It's a while.
And talk about all the things. So
We're gonna go talk about Thirst and then I'll go.
Okay, fine. Might be about 20 minutes. Cool. Thank you again for
Thank
coming
you so
down.
much.
Stay tuned for that exclusive interview coming up next.
Felicia. Hi guys, welcome back to GamesRadar at PAX. We're here with Felicia Day. We're chatting her new game and a bunch of other stuff. So let's get right into it.
What's up?
What's going on?
I'm here. I'm here at PAX East.
In the flesh.
I have not been here for years.
Really? When was the last time you were here?
Oh my gosh, it must be 5 years at least. I think I did something with Microsoft. I can't even remember, honestly. I walked down the stairs, I'm like, look at all the colors. It was so, and I got that longing, like, I want to see it all. And then also, like, I want to go home. So, I don't know if anybody else has that impulse when they go to a huge convention. Yeah, okay, good.
Does it feel bigger than it did 5 years ago?
Yeah, it does. It feels like just more, feels more Vegas-y. There's just a lot more, and like the booths are bigger, but yeah, it's about standard, you know what I'm saying? It has that dark, creepy feel that it is Vegas. It's kind of like, Vegas, like Fallout at night kind of thing.
Fallout New Vegas?
Hey!
So you're here mostly promoting a game that you lent your lovely voice to. Could you tell us a little bit
Dungeons
about that?
of Nahelbeck. It is it's a really cool game. It's kind of like it's an RPG. So all the characters are fully voiced, and the characters are. I mean, the art is really, really amazing because it's kind of like early WoW. When it's like colorful but a fantasy world, and it's super, super funny. And it's based on the source material that I kind of feel a kinship to, because it was basically this guy, I guess 10 years ago or more, just started uploading recordings, not podcasts. Before podcasts, he started uploading recordings of just his RPG group kind of arguing and going through a dungeon. And so it was this huge hit in France. It's a comedy. He did all the voices, and so he did it all himself. So it's kind of like this DIY thing, like the Guild. And I had heard about it many years ago because I went to France to promote the Guild DVD at one point. And I was like, well, this guy just did everything himself. And so now they're doing a video game, and I was so honored to be a part of it because, not only do our roots kind of have that similar feel, but just the humor in it is very similar to what I write myself.
Yeah, that's super interesting. And can you tell us about your character that you play?
Yeah, so I play the wizard. So she is the smartest person in the party. A lot of they're kind of dumb. Some of them are really funny but dumb. I say that only because I'm the know-it-all smart character. And so she's very like uppity, very condescending, but in a funny way. But she has this, there's another character called the ogre who doesn't actually speak. I always translate for him. And he's like my little buddy. So I'm like really sweet to him. I don't know. The writing makes me laugh. It's so fun. And I think people are really going to get a kick out of it.
Do you find there's any similarities between you and your character?
I mean, I can be an obnoxious know-it-all for sure. I think that's kind of my go-to. I don't think they wrote this for me, but certainly Central Casting called. She's also a redhead who wears purple.
I did notice that.
Yeah, she's pretty rad. So I have to say that I really love her character. I just love the aesthetics of the game. It's like, that classic RPG, but in a more bright, colorful kind of manner.
Yeah. Can you tell us a bit more about like the story behind it at all?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but basically they're, adventurers. They're going into a dungeon. They're trying to get their way out. But like they have to go through these crazy deep, like some of the characters, I don't want to spoil it, but they're just ridiculous. They're laugh out loud ridiculous. I mean, I don't remember if you remember Castle Crashers. You ever play Castle Crashers? That kind of ridiculous, sort of like really broad humor is all through this game. And so this group of adventurers, as you gather your party, you go through the dungeon trying to, basically get out. But all the characters are so distinct. That's what's really fun about it. Like, I think somebody said to me one time that good writing is you can cover up the character name, and if you just read the line, you'll know exactly who it is who said that. This is totally that game.
I feel like from what I've seen, it seems like it's also sort of satirizing the roles that are in typical RPGs.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the elf ranger is like the dimmest bulb, the poor little thing, she and the ranger is like super like bro-y, and then the barbarian is just a total meathead. Yeah, so yeah, it really does take, and I like I said, the whole origin of the story is it's true to life, so the creator, he kind of was mocking his own RPG group, and like this is just a dude who started doing this with MP3 files and uploading them. It became this huge phenomenon before there was even podcasts. Like podcasts are huge now, but like back then, like there was nothing like that. And so I really admire this guy just being in his bedroom, like making something that became this huge phenomenon in France.
Yeah, that's so interesting. To have it turn into something like that is even cooler. The
Yeah,
process.
I mean, that's like the beauty of the internet. Like, especially even the things I did. Like, there's no way I could sell like some, the things that I created, to Hollywood. Like, the guild was never option. Like, tabletop, I could never get somebody to do a tabletop show, and yet millions of people want to watch those kind of shows. So like, there's this disconnect between like niche audience, quote unquote niche, and mainstream. And like, I have no interest in most of the stuff that's on television, but I would like watch that in a second. And so that's always been my philosophy, like make stuff for people who aren't being serviced, who I would, and make the stuff I would want to watch. And like really you have to do it the way that isn't like approved by the man.
Yeah, 100%. And it's really interesting to see you involved with it, because like you said, it's sort of the same trajectory that you took.
For sure. I mean, like, it's even more, huge. Like, I think there's graphic novels, there's like huge comic books that people have found the show. And the fun thing is, like, people have found the property through the comics even more than the audio thing. So like, younger people only know the comics, and the old school knows the audio stuff. So, and hopefully new people will find it through this game. So you don't really need to know the source material at all to play the game.
I love that though. Like, let's not cut anybody off. Anyone
not
who
at
comes
all.
from here or there can get involved in it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the challenge with doing anything video game, like adapting IP for a different format. Like, that's why most video game movies do not work, or video game TV shows don't work, because it's like the game companies are so like catering to their fans, but that's too inside for the mainstream. But then the mainstream people make it really dumb. So it's like, where do you find in the middle that you're satisfying everybody?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very, very rare, I think.
Yeah, I would say so. Definitely. I think the closest thing we've got to something really good is what we all talk about, which is The Witcher.
Yes. Yeah, The Witcher. I think The Witcher has that sort of like cheesy fantasy fun. Yeah.
100%.
I mean, yeah, there was some I like there was some things I was like, but overall I would be like, oh yeah, I'd watch more of that.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch it again soon. I mean, it made me start playing the game again.
Yeah, no, that really it was really cool. And I mean, I would, my dream would be to see like a Fallout show, because I really feel like Fallout, that world would be such a cool venue for stories and just world building.
Well, you did the Dragon Age.
I did
live
Dragon
action
Age
as well.
Yeah,
Would you want to do the Fallout one? Is this
I mean, yeah, yay, call me. Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, I did that. That was like super early experiment, and I also did a voice in Fallout New Vegas.
Yep.
And so, yeah, sure. Veronica could totally star in her own TV show.
I mean, why not?
I love it.
Do you feel like you have a preference doing voiceover work or live action work? I mean, one, you can kind of just be in your jammies and hang out.
I mean, that's what I really love about voiceover work. Like, just the last couple of years, I had a baby, and like I had to kind of like, my life shattered, because parenthood is great. You really can't be as fun or have as much fun, but it's all different fun.
Yeah.
Kids are great. So
I love kids.
I do. I love my kid, but I cannot play video games as much as I did, and that is a great loss to my life and the world, I think.
Agreed.
But at the end of the day, like you just kind of have to retain a little bit of yourself.
Yeah.
And so doing voiceover is a lot easier, and I don't have to leave the town. Most of the acting work I do is in Vancouver. So traveling is a little bit more difficult. So yeah, voiceover is great. It's also just this incredible, skill set that is totally unlike on-camera acting, right? So, you have to be able to act with your voice only, and that requires a lot more expression than you would use, just face to face.
Yeah.
So it really is challenging, and I've taken a lot of classes and done a lot of study just to get better, because it's not just you. Anybody who speaks cannot be a voiceover actor.
Yeah. Well, I definitely could never do that.
Don't sell yourself short.
Who knows? Maybe someday.
Yeah.
My dad always did say I had a voice for radio, so
Okay.
a face for radio. Part of me.
Your dad said that to you?
Yeah. It was a joke. We're a tough family.
Okay.
Thick-skinned.
All right.
And became a gamer, so I had to have thick skin.
Yeah, you do. You have to. Yeah, I've been with years of therapy of trying to peel that back. What's left? Not much.
No, not much. This has gone dark now. So, like, all your characters that you've done, voiceover, live action, I really want to know which one you think could kick all of their asses.
Oh, wow. Which of the characters
Be
that I
thinking,
played could kick everyone's ass? This is a good question. I mean, I think Talus from Dragon Age was the most weapons, able.
Oh, yeah.
I think she was actually an assassin. She was actually trained. You know, you can't find that anymore because Machinima, I guess, went under and they took all the videos off.
Yeah.
So all that work.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's okay. I think they still have a DVD, but I'm not really sure.
Let's get the DVD. Someone find us the DVD.
But I think she was definitely. I spent months training in daggers. Like I still am like, hey, that was a good skill set.
I think some's on YouTube. There's some stuff.
I'm sure somebody pirated it.
Low quality YouTube.
Yeah, low quality YouTube. Yeah. So yeah, I think she would be the most skill weapon wise. But you know, like I've shot a lot of guns in my time, and I mean, guns beat daggers, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah. Just skill level wise, I think Talus would be the most skillful. And Charlie would probably, she's used a variety of, Charlie from Supernatural has used a variety of shotguns.
She's up there.
Weapons.
She was up there for me when I was trying to figure it. Swords.
Yeah, so she's, you know, I think she was OTJ. She was definitely on the job trading, whereas Talus was like an actual trained professional.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would like to see that. One of me would die.
Yeah. Well, that has happened to you before.
Oh, I get killed all the time. I don't know what it is about me. I actually stopped taking jobs where I was dying. I'm just like, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to be Sean Bean anymore.
No.
And then I stopped working.
Have you counted? Are you at a Sean Bean level? Hi guys, welcome back to GamesRadar at PAX. We're here with Felicia Day. We're chatting her new game and a bunch of other stuff. So let's get right into it.
What's up?
What's going on?
I'm here. I'm here at PAX East.
Swords.
Yeah, so she's, you know, I think she was OTJ. She was definitely on the job trading, whereas Talus was like an actual trained professional.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would like to see that. One of me would die.
Yeah. Well, that has happened to you before.
Oh, I get killed all the time. I don't know what it is about me. I actually stopped taking jobs where I was dying. I'm just like, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to be Sean Bean anymore.
No.
And then I stopped working.
Have you counted? Are you at a Sean Bean level of?
I don't know. He's
high up there.
He's high there. I think I'm close as a lady.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, as a lady, I'm definitely up there.
I'm gonna do a tally and then.
I'm very
get back to you.
identifiable as a dead person.
Why do you think? I wonder.
I don't know. I don't know why.
Hair color?
I have maybe a killable quality to me.
This is great to say and then just go out into a mass of people.
Yeah, no, I think because, a writer did tell me that they'll never kill the person you wouldn't care about. So, like, inherently...
This is a good thing.
It's a great thing that they kill me off and I can't come back. It's great.
It's because people like you. They're killing you because they like you.
Yeah, they want to tug the heartstrings. So, I have a likable quality to me, so they want to kill me.
It seems like a really twisted way to say people like you.
Yeah, it's the worst. It's not
but
that
it still
fun.
is a nice thing.
It's not. The good thing is I'm always on shows that technically I could come back. So like.
And you did that.
I did that on Supernatural. Yeah. So and then Eureka, I got killed off on that, and then I got brought back as a hologram. So, yeah, they will bring me back. So I just need to stick with like science fiction and fantasy, because if I go to the sort of like procedural, I'll just die and never come back, right?
No, yeah.
You can't come as a ghost at NCIS.
Flashbacks?
Maybe. Yeah. Okay, good. I like
or like all those HBO procedurals now are like,
oh, they're
ghosts,
always like flash
haunting,
forward.
Yeah. There's some supernatural stuff involved with them.
Okay, yeah. No, you can be my agent.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Okay.
Totally. I'll get you on like True Detective season 5 or whatever.
Oh, that sounds so boring. No offense.
No.
There's a lot. There's people way too much pensive looking out a window on that.
There's a lot of like forlorn men.
Yeah, forlorn.
Familial issues.
Yeah. Oh, daddy issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tons of them. I don't know what that's
overcompensating
about.
issues.
Never had that before in my life. Okay, so also I know that you stream when you can.
I do stream almost weekly.
Yeah, and you're playing AC Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
I can't quit it. I can't stop. I don't play enough to get through it fast enough. Because once a week, 3 hours a week, you're just not going to get through much fast. And that's all I can do, y'all. That's all I can do. But it is such a good game. It's made me obsessed with Greek literature, actually. So I've been reading the Odyssey.
That's really interesting.
Itself and the Iliad. And it puts me to sleep in a great way, but also I feel like I'm being educated. And
Those are dense.
Oh, it's, if you get a good translation, it actually, because if you read the Iliad, it's like literally the graphic way that he describes an arrow going through someone and like dislodging someone's jaw. I'm like, this is kind of like violence porn here, like from 1200 BC.
Yeah, I had
it's
to read it
great.
in high school. I should go back into it.
Yeah, there's a new translation. There are a couple new translations by women actually that are really good, and I would highly recommend them.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Do you find streaming for you is like a great way for you to stay in touch with everyone and still play?
For sure, yeah. I mean, I left my company, Geek and Sundry, several years ago, and it was just a decision I had to kind of de-stress my life for my health. And it makes me sad because all the things we made there, like from tabletop to Critical Role to like the Guild early on, like that really, was just part of my world. Like making videos was my world, and so I just had to cut back, but I miss it so much. Twitch was always an ecosystem that I really loved. That's why I started the Geek and Sundry Twitch, which led to a lot of really cool shows. And I do it for myself. Like, I donate all the money to charity, and it's really just me keeping in touch with the online world because, Hollywood's okay, but it's not fun for me. It's more of a job. That's my job. And like the online world was like my passion. And so that's kind of the last sliver that I have left, which, I'm working on other things to do online, but the age of video seems to be over, but it's all about live streaming and podcasting now, which is awesome. I have to keep up my stream or I feel like I'm literally losing who I am.
That's important that you do that, though, and I know a lot of people tune in, so.
Yeah, no, I have such an awesome fan base, like just such an awesome group, and the mods will kick anybody who's a jerk, which is super important to me. Like, I was talking about like launching Geek and Sundry back in like 2012 or whatever. And you can't moderate, so basically you would have to please everybody for views, so it's like you just sit there and get abused all day in your own videos and just like, I don't want to be abused anymore. And so Twitch was this awesome place where I was like, no jerks, just can't come in, just don't.
No jerks allowed.
Yeah, and like you lose some people, but at the same time you gain people who know that they want to hang out there, right? And so I feel like whenever I encourage people to like just really be ruthless about like making the environment of your chat like as wonderful as you would want to be hanging out in yourself, like that'll just attract the right people and they'll stick with you for years, which I'm very fortunate my community does.
Yay. Well, now I know that you've been streaming AC Odyssey and this cooking game, but do you have anything else that you are looking at in the future? I might say, do you have any games that are on your radar?
Oh, are you gonna
GamesRadar?
Yeah, I got you. I want to play Baldur's Gate 3, which I hear is coming out. I want to stream Nahoback just because I like to play games with my. But I would genuinely play the game because it is super colorful. It's turn-based combat. Like everything about it, and it's really funny dialogue. So I would 100%. I'm 100% going to be streaming that, and Yeah, I mean, I like to play more of the indie games. Like, I like to find little dungeon crawlers made by Czechoslovakian people, and like, they're like, "Can you do a voice?" I'm like, "I'm a union actor. I'm sorry, I can't." They're like, "We're too small." So anyway, yeah, it's I like those are my favorite games. Like playing the big ones. I know that a lot of people play the stream game and they play the most popular game just to get people to watch. But like for me, I just want to have fun because it's literally my 3 hours a week I get to play video games. So
it's your de-stressor. You don't need to be getting involved in some
I don't want to be hunted.
No,
I just don't want to be hunted on my weekends. Like it's
don't want to
totally
start
reasonable.
jump into a battle royale.
No,
with a
oh god, no.
Shrinking map.
No, oh not at all. No, not at all.
That's not de-stressing.
Not
at all.
Yep.
So you are a mom.
Yes.
Is there like an embargo for when, if your daughter wants to get involved with games, you would allow it? Is she interested?
Yeah.
I know she's quite little, but
she's only 3. I allow her 15 minutes of app games a day, but she can't watch TV because I'm like, I'd rather her play video games than watch TV because I'm just like, I don't know, at least you're doing something with your finger.
Connecting synapses.
Yeah, you're connecting some neurons. So she gets like letter games and stuff like that. I'm excited to play I have a Switch, and whatever will happen like when she's 5, I want to play Super Mario Kart with her, maybe a little Mario Galaxy. Like on the weekend, we'll do like an hour. Animal Crossing. I'm actually pretty excited about it, and I think that's where I'm going to be gravitating more toward the Nintendo games because it's just like I have to make sure that she's not going to be scarred.
She won't be with that. I mean, she's
not at all.
Like she's gonna have a cute little village, and
she's gonna. I mean, I'm gonna be like, move over, let's give me the controller.
Just fighting over.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited to play with her. Like, I really, I want to show her like that this is something that's positive in her life, and like, you know, it's something that she can add to have fun with her friends, but also for us to bond over.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of putting a moratorium until she's a little bit older, but 5 years old, I was thinking.
That's a good time.
We'll break it out.
When-
Until then, I'll play.
Yeah. When did you get involved? Do you remember?
You know,
did you
video
have parents
games?
that liked them?
No, you know, I never had any consoles when I grew up. So the only exposure I had to like stuff was when I was like probably 7 or 8. My friends had Nintendo, but I had a PC starting about like that age, so 8, 9, like so. And then basically I was just unsupervised and I played all day, every day. So because I was homeschooled, I would just be like all the time. So yeah, I think, you know, I probably should have been supervised a little bit more. But hey, I turned out fine.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
I wasn't allowed to do any of it. I had like
Wait,
a
you
cap.
were?
I
really?
mean, well, I had a cap on my time.
Oh, for sure.
And it was very rigid. It would
Like
actually
30
just
minutes?
like 30 minutes. And
Yeah.
the games I had were like putt-putt.
Yeah.
And I played the first Harry Potter game on the PC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was that weird one?
It was bizarre.
That was
yeah.
bad game.
Yeah, it was not a good game.
It's
no.
a really bad game.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. It's low quality in every
Yeah,
way.
it was very, very low quality. And then my parents got me The Sims, and they didn't realize that you could be really twisted on that.
Oh, for
so
sure.
that was
That's
kind of
too
when-
much freedom.
Yeah, but they didn't know.
They didn't know. They
anything
don't know
about
anything,
it. They were like,
no.
house building? That seems fine.
Yeah.
It's like house building, fire starting.
Yeah.
That's really what's happening.
It's building a bathroom and just putting your curtain in there and burning it down.
I wasn't the only person who did that.
Everybody does
Oh
that.
my God, yes. I
For
thought I was
sure.
twisted. Twisted
No,
individual.
everybody just wants to. I mean, I always cheated. Universally, I would not. I'm not entering a video game and being poor. Like,
No.
it's just not.
Why do I
I
want to
did it
live
in-
my real life?
I did it in Stardew Valley too. I was like, this plays like 5 hours. I'm like, I cannot struggle financially in this game. So I just hacked it. I found a hacker and I just gave myself all the money. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm just shameless. I am an adult woman who can go ahead and hack the economy of this game so I have a more pleasurable experience.
Exactly.
Okay?
We don't need to be stressed and worried about bills.
Exactly.
Or
That's
seed
enough of that in
costs.
real life. No, I need to be able to renovate anything I want with impunity.
I wanted to put a pool in my house in The Sims, and you couldn't stop me.
No. This is why am I struggling financially in a game? That doesn't make any sense.
The Sims, I'll tell you, The Sims has changed.
Oh,
I've
really?
been playing 4.
I saw like a mermaid thing going on.
There are
and
mermaids,
I really wanted to play that.
vampires. There's a
Yeah.
whole magical realm. There's a lot.
I mean, I could get sucked
There's
in
pets.
easily. I could easily get sucked
That's
in.
what happened to me just a few weeks ago.
I played Fallout 4 exclusively. I was just building houses in Fallout 4. I'm not even exaggerating.
No, I
like
believe
the majority of my time was building my, my settlements and I was obsessed with it. It's just literally, I walk into PAX and part of my heart fails. I'm like, I'm never going to be able to play all these. So
You will. We'll just make a list and just go down them,
Okay, let's do it. Thank
Yeah.
you. You can be my game coach?
Yeah, I'm going to be your agent and your game coach.
I love it. This has been a really fruitful interview for me.
I have a lot of work ahead of me. Jeez, I better.
Yeah, you do. Okay,
I've
well,
got to get all my things sorted. Someone's got to watch
Yeah.
my cat.
Exactly.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with
Yeah,
us.
thanks.
I really
We could do
appreciate
this all day.
it. Thanks so much. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Bye.
Bye.
Hello and welcome back to the. Are you good?
That was riveting. I mean, I ran. I've changed.
I know.
A little time travel.
It was good,
I've
right?
had so much coffee. I can hear colors.
It was super fast. You
Right.
getting from all the way up there back down here in a new outfit.
Right.
Almost like that maybe happened yesterday, but who's to say?
I think it was 2 days ago.
Was it really 2 days ago?
It's been a long weekend, but a
Wow.
fun weekend.
Yes, it has. This about wraps up our stream here at PAX East in Boston for GamesRadar in 2020. Any other things I should mention? No. Good. So yeah, that about wraps up our stream. We want to thank, big shout out to Tripwire and Acer for helping us put this stream together.
Yes.
It's been a lot of fun. Thanks to all the developers that came down and showed off their games. What's been your favorite?
Oh gosh. Oh man, it's tough. Boyfriend Dungeon.
You know, I knew you were going to say that. I shouldn't have even had to ask.
It's written all over my face.
yeah,
man. What about yours?
I enjoyed us moving out
Yeah.
of the little house.
Yeah, moving out
I
was
think we
fun.
should go and play that again.
Yeah.
And,
And I definitely want to get on some GTFO. Like I said, I got to find people who play with me.
yes,
Will you play?
I can play.
Yes.
That's fine.
Now we just need 2 more.
2 more. And word of caution, as you've already pointed out to everyone, she's a screamer. So that's happening.
Just imagine my laugh, but even louder. It's great.
Just constantly that.
Just as,
throughout
there's
the
no
whole
lower.
game.
No, I
Just
don't have an off
that
button.
and
Or a
laughing and screams. That's all you get when you play online
It's
with
been
Alyssa.
a long weekend.
It has.
We're feeling good.
We're feeling great. Thank you so much for watching. Coming up over on the PC Gamer stream that you can find on Twitch, they've got some more GTFO, some Chivalry 2, some Disintegration. So head over to their Twitch page and check that out for the rest of the day.
Hell yeah.
But from us, that's it.
We're done.
From Boston, we're done. We're out. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.